Well, everyone, after roughly 6 months of waiting, today is finally the day. I am heading over to East Cape Boats in Orlando to pick up my new East Cape Evo. Man, it was a wait, and I could not be more excited, man. I spent roughly, I calculated 10,000 hours on the Ginu, and all of that was so important to me getting this boat and being able to make it happen. I'm super excited. I'm probably gonna say that 50 times today, but we're gonna go pick it up. We're gonna take it out to the water, and we're gonna do a full walkthrough. We're gonna start breaking in the engine. We're gonna get a feel for it today. But man, excitement is definitely the word of the day. I am very excited. But yeah, let's go. We got about roughly a little over an hour drive. Let's go pick up the new boat. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to mention. The Ginu is never for sale. Well, guys, I just did like an hour walkthrough with the guys over at East Cape, making sure everything was absolutely perfect before I take it home. Everything's the way I want it. I have all the equipment, paperwork, manuals, everything for the boat. And I wasn't sure if I was gonna film here today, but I'll do a quick peek for you guys before we head to the water. Quick peek. I've never taken a newborn home from the hospital. I got a feeling it maybe feels a little bit like this, maybe just a pinch. This thing is brand new, brand new. All right, quick peek for you guys, just a quick one. We're gonna do everything on the water today, but that is it. That is it. So much time to get to this final product here, and I couldn't be happier. But that's that, a quick little peek. We're gonna head to the water and drop it in and get a feel for it, go through everything, walk through for you guys, and I think I'm ready to go. Everything's hooked up right. We look really good. Let's hop back in the truck, head back over to the coast, and drop it in. I'm excited, man. Let's go. Oh. Well, guys, right behind me is the Evo. I just spent probably an hour and a half, 2 hours just getting a feel for everything, idling around, getting up on plane, playing with all the electronics, playing with the power pole, the trolling motor, getting a feel for everything, getting a feel for the sound system, and I wanted to make sure I had a good feel of everything before I get up here and show you guys, walk you guys through the boat, honestly. But I am so incredibly lucky, I just gotta say that. And we're gonna walk through the boat here. Please forgive me if I'm a little bit all over the place with my thoughts and the things I'm saying. I might miss some things, but it's only because I am super excited. But yeah, let's get into it. I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you guys think. In my personal humble opinion, this is the best looking skiff I have ever seen. So let's take a look at it. All right, well, here she is. I don't even know where to start. We'll kind of start with, we'll start with kind of an overview, and then we'll get into all the nitty-gritty stuff inside. And I'll try to share all the information about everything I have off the top of my head. But once again, this is the 18 Evo here, made by East Cape Boats. They were awesome to work with. They are a new partner of the channel, and I could not be happier with this boat, honestly. It is beautiful. Color is beautiful. If you guys don't know, East Cape does basically everything fully custom, however you want it. And I got to set this up exactly how I wanted it, from colors to rod holders, cleats, every option I basically got to pick out, and it came out really sweet. So 18-foot overall length. This guy, as you guys can see here, I am standing in shin deep water, and we of course are floating no problem. We should be able to draft in 6 to 7 inches. But yeah, let's move to the back here. We have a 90 Suzuki. I have joined Team Suzuki, their ultimate team, which I'm super excited about. But here we go, 90 Suzuki. It should push this boat about 45 to 50 miles per hour. I might have to play with the props a little bit. This is the standard factory prop, but it was running good. It is dead silent. I can vouch for that so far. I'm still breaking it in, so I'm not quite on the performance. Don't know all the performance of what it can do with this specific boat, but it is dead silent. I can tell you that much as of right now. 90 Suzuki. The hull is I should have mentioned this earlier. It is fiberglass, and actually what Eastcape did is my whole deck here, so all the hatches, the deck, it is carbon fiber. So if I open this up here, you guys should just be able to see there. It may be hard, but that is a carbon fiber hatch, and the deck is all carbon fiber as well. That saves about 75 pounds, and Eastcape can honestly do whatever you want. If you want a little bit of carbon fiber, if you want no carbon fiber, they will integrate it how you want it. But I have a pinch of Kevlar in the transom and a little bit of Kevlar up front. So there is actually 3 different materials that go into this boat. Just the standard fiberglass, Kevlar, and then the whole deck is carbon fiber, which overall should save me about 75 pounds of weight. So what that means is hopefully we'll float a pinch shallower, and we might have a mile per hour or 2 more with that Suzuki because we made the boat lighter. All right, we're gonna come lean down back here. This is a no-brainer for most people who fish shallow water. If you guys don't know, this is a power pole. I have a 6-foot black Pro Series 2 here. If you guys don't know what a power pole is, it, as you can see right now, will stake you out. Let me grab the remote and I'll show you guys exactly how it works in case any of you guys have never seen a power pole before. All right, so with our remote here, which is also the same remote as my trolling motor, which we'll go over in a second, you can raise and lower the power pole just like that. Double tap, it'll go all the way up, and then of course double tap again, it'll anchor you back down. Simple as that. Once again, this is a 6-footer. I could have gone with 8, but I was a little afraid of an 8-footer being a little too tall on the platform here and maybe get in the way in the pole of when you're poling. But 6 foot appears to work just fine, and we should be able to anchor in roughly 5 because you need that stake to actually reach and dig into the bottom. So 6-footer, we'll test it out. Maybe on a later boat I'll do an 8-footer, but right now I'm super happy with that. I ain't have nothing fancy like that on my Ginu. We'll put it back down. Super quiet as well. All right, we're gonna work our way up to the front here, and this is Power Pole's newest piece of work. Power Pole is super well known for their customer service. They have amazing customer service. If something breaks, any issues, they will hook you up like the next day. They'll have either the part you need or they'll have help for you on the phone no matter what it is. So I really wanted to go with Power Pole with my skiff. They have this new Power Pole Move trolling motor, which is, I mean, it is a beast. It is on a 36-volt lithium system. So 36 volts paired with this Power Pole Move, which is a brushless trolling motor. It is an actual beast. I'm gonna show you guys some clips. Well, I'll throw them over top right now. Doing 360s. I think this thing will push this boat like 6 or 7 miles per hour with the trolling motor alone. A 36-volt system on a skiff is kind of unreal, especially like an ultra, a very light skiff like this. It rips it around. Power Pole says it has around 100 pounds, I believe exactly 100 pounds of true thrust is what they call it. But this is the Move 54-inch shaft here. It is super, super sweet. I'll have to show some clips deploying it and stuff like that. in a second, but it is the real deal, and I am so happy to be working with Power Pole. And in addition to that, we have a Power Pucks here. If you guys can see that under there, that is the Power Pucks system. So the way this works is you can very easily, obviously it's locked right now, but it makes it so your trolling motor doesn't have to be wired across the deck and into a hatch or something like that. The wiring is through this Power Pucks system right here. So we have a super clean deck here. We don't have any wires running across or anything. The wiring is straight through that Power Pucks right here, and then through the deck, and of course back to the batteries, which are in my center console. But huge shout out to Power Pucks and Power Pole for helping me out with this skiff. They are super awesome products to have on the boat. Super useful, very functional products, which I really like, and they also look very good too. I care a pinch about aesthetics, if you guys can't tell. And the functionality and the aesthetic, it just looks great, and Power Pole was unreal when I was running around earlier. Everything worked great. Anchor mode, it was awesome. All right, moving on here. We're working our way, I guess, into the boat, as you can say. But this is like the centerpiece right here of the skiff, in my opinion. This is where you fish off of. You know, it is the real deal. This is a casting platform by Marquesa Marine. Big shout out to Marquesa for helping me out. This is a full carbon casting platform, and I have it mounted up front of the front hatch, so it is right on the tip of the boat here, as you guys can see. I have 11.5-inch legs, and it is pretty. It is a pretty casting platform. Obviously with carbon fiber you save weight versus going with a typical, I believe it's an aluminum casting platform, which is what the metal would be made out of. But this thing, it is pretty. It is a pretty casting platform. And these come in several different sizes. I believe this is the standard one, but you can get larger ones. You can get shorter legs if you want it shorter. You can get higher legs. Once again, these are 11.5-inch legs. And also from Marquesa Marine is the push pole. This is his professional series. Shout out to Hunter, the owner of Marquesa Marine. This is his professional series carbon fiber push pole. I went with a 23-foot. You could go with longer, you could go with shorter, but a lot of times it depends on what depth of water you'd likely be poling in and how high your poling platform is. And I talked to him a little bit, and it seems like 23 foot should do just the job for this skiff wherever I go. And how about this? I know this thing is cool. This is a light bar from Black Oak LED. It is mounted under my casting platform. This is going to be awesome for navigating at night or even early morning. It is a super functional, important thing. Lighting, and when you're navigating at night, is very important. But I can take this off very easily. It is just wired under the platform here, down this leg, and into this front hatch, nice and clean. But of course, if I want to remove either the casting platform or just the light, I can simply just unplug it, stuff the wire back into the hatch, and store the light bar elsewhere. Who knows? I think most of the time I'll keep this casting platform on the boat, but you never know. Maybe if we're just going to hang out at the sandbar, or maybe going diving or something, I won't need it for that day. Who knows? But I think for fishing and on the channel, it'll be up here, and it'll be, you know, the main contact point for fishing. It'll be, my feet will be right here, and we'll be fishing, you know. It is a sweet piece of equipment. I love it, looks good, and it feels really solid. He does great work, Hunter. Whew. All right, since we are on the topic of the lighting, let's talk about the lights I did in my Evo. So lighting to me is very important. It's very functional. It does also make the boat look pretty cool. Some of the decisions, the options I went with, but big shout out to Black Oak LED for helping me out. We have that light bar up front, and then in the back here under, let me spin the camera around here, under the poling platform, we have a spreader light. So this light should light up the whole deck at night. Your rigging, whatever it may be, rigging. Who knows what you might need it for, honestly. Maybe even if you're changing a spare tire on the side of the road, or changing a flat tire, I should say. You got these lights on the boat to, that one, importantly, will light up the whole thing. I don't think it would be something I'd have on while running, because it'll light up the boat very well and make it harder to see. But for rigging, maybe grabbing bait, and obviously fishing, you know, it's a very nice thing to have. So we have the spreader, the light bar, and then we do have one blue. You guys can see that down there. That is a blue light from Black Oak as well. Lights up the live well. I really wanted that for night fishing. And then I really wish it was nighttime. Well, I had some clips from nighttime, but I picked up the boat today. We also have an underwater blue LED here. So blue underwater LED there. Whoa. A blue live well light, and then also under gunnel, it all glows blue, matching blue. So that was pretty sweet. And then besides that, with the LEDs, I mean, we have our, let me climb up here. Let's go ahead and get back in the boat. Oh. We have typical nav lights up front, and then this is the rear navigation light. It's white. But yeah, that is lighting in this boat. Very important to me, and I think we did pretty good all around. All right, since we're back in the boat here, I figured I'd mention it. Big shout out to Wet Sounds for hooking me up with the sound system. Here is their head unit right here. It is a pretty sweet head unit. Displays album covers, it's Bluetooth, everything like that. We have a huge amplifier in here in this hatch. I'll show you guys, throw a clip over top, but it literally takes up, this amp takes up like this whole center console, the whole thing. It's huge. We didn't think we'd be able to fit it, but we fit it. And we got two 6.5 Wet Sounds 0 speakers up front and two 8-inch speakers in the back. And let me tell you, this thing, it thumps. It absolutely, it's loud, but it's super nice. I love having the speakers for, you know, riding around, heading back in at the end of the day, maybe just hanging out. You know, it's a nice thing to have on a boat. I won't lie, very nice. All right, since we're in the boat now, let's talk about some more options. The V Marine stuff in this boat is sweet. V Marine makes like, basically like custom accessories for skiffs. And I have the push-pull clips right here, the 3. These are from V Marine. They're the typical, you know, the C-shaped push-pull clips. I got one there, one in the back and up front. We have the V Marine. This is the steering wheel knob. It is a snook. You can pop your, you know, the standard little knob here, or the cap, I should say, the cap that comes with the steering wheel, and pop in a new one. This is a black snook, but they come in all different colors, different designs, stuff like that. But this is a super cool little touch. Shout out to V Marine. And I guess this as well, I better not forget this. I think I gotta put the engine down for it. Let's do it. Let's put the engine down. I'll show you guys the motor strap from V Marine. All right, engine's out of the way and you can see it pretty good now, but this is the rolling tarpon engine strap from V Marine, if you guys can see that there. A pretty sweet little touch, just the details there. That is super cool, and those also come in different colors, different styles. If you want tarpon, I believe they got redfish, some different designs, but I went with rolling tarpon on the motor strap, and then that snook on the steering wheel. Just little things that are just really neat, specific to my boat, just the way I wanted it. Oh, and one more thing before we get to the more East Cape specific stuff. V Marine push-pull clip here. This is a holder, so if you're pulling from right here, obviously, and say your buddy catches a fish up front, you can quickly just kneel down, press the push-pull into this clip, and climb down and assist your buddy up front. It's a nice little touch. These also come in different colors. I kind of just went with that black, the black color scheme on this boat. But from V Marine as well, a nice little option to have. Very good functional option, which I really like. And looks good too. Definitely looks good. Simrad, big shout out to them. This is their brand new 15-inch ultra wide. This is the NSX ultra wide, and I apologize if you can't see the screen very well with my camera, but it is a sweet unit. It is running on a new operating system. It is super quick, and this 15-inch ultra wide fills the center console on the Evo perfectly. I mean, perfectly. It looks like it was just meant for this boat, honestly. It looks like it was meant for it. But it is a sweet unit. Right now, as you guys can see, just barely, I have all of my instruments on here, all the important stuff right now. I got it set up earlier. I'll probably change this around a little bit. And once again, I'm sorry if you can't see it very well. But as you can see, got RPMs here, we got the time, speed, fuel economy. I was getting 10 miles per gallon earlier at cruise speed. We got the voltage, we have the hours, which you can't see because the engine's off right now, and the depth. We're in like no water at all, so that is a sweet unit. I'm super excited to use it, and of course we have the typical bottom scan, side scan, and I'm excited to use those tools, see if we can, you know, use them to our advantage. I won't use them all the time because I'm primarily a sight fisherman, but big shout out to Simrad. Big shout out. That is a clean, it is a beautiful unit. It looks really good. And so far, super responsive, feels good, and easy to use is what I would say so far. Past couple hours playing with it. But yeah, the Simrad, what else we got here? Oh, big shout out to Unmatched Marine. They do all your custom SeaDek work. I have a buddy who works there, owns it, or is manager, president, I'm not sure. Big shout out to Colton from Unmatched Marine. They did all the SeaDek in this boat. Everything, came and measured it, and they also did the SeaDek in my Ginu. So if you guys, you know, noticed any of that in my Ginu, they did it as well. But I went with the SeaDek in very subtle areas, exactly where I would want it in a boat. I don't necessarily love it everywhere, but just in certain areas. So front deck here, we have the SeaDek. This is mocha brown on black. The Marquesa Marine, same color. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Mocha brown on black. But we went with SeaDek there, and then we went with tarpon scales underneath the gunnels in black on mocha brown, so the reverse. But check out that. The tarpon scales are such a nice touch. Even we got the Evo logo down there at the bottom. It looks great. Looks great. And then of course, back here as well, we went with the SeaDek on the step up, and then the polling platform here as well. So all the important areas where you're going to be standing a lot, we have SeaDek. So, oh, it is hot out here, real hot. All right, I'm trying to think if I have any more third-party accessories that weren't from East Cape. Oh, so this is gonna be tough to see. I'll see if I can show you guys, but my trolling motor battery is a 36-volt lithium from Astro Lithium, and it is a neat little, it is light, it is extremely light, but it is in the center console here. I don't know if you guys can see back in there. It is gonna be dark. Yeah, let me see. It is tucked way back in there. So we have the lithium battery in the back. Unfortunately, it's super dark, hard to get to. Well, not hard to get to, but you just can't see back in the dark. Then we have our AGM, our starting battery here, which all the electronics are on. And let me close that up. But yeah, back in the console, big shout out to Astro Lithium. That is a, once again, 36 volt, 60 amp hour battery, and that is paired with obviously the power pole move up front, so it should run a very long time. And then with that 36 volts of power to the power pole move, that thing, yeah, it is powerful. It should hold me in any current I ever find myself in. And I mentioned it earlier, or I was thinking about it earlier, is a lot of people brought up the fact that I don't have a jack plate on this boat, and the reason for that is, let me get back in the water here and show you guys. I may want one eventually, but at least for right now, we're running no jack plate. Is when you offset the engine back this way, you lose draft. You lose how much the boat can float. Yes, unfortunately, you can't idle or run in as shallow of water if you could with a jack plate. But that being said, if there is a time where, oh, I need to idle like a mile and a half to get out of like a foot of water, I have full trust in this power pole move being a good option to just drop the power pole down, the move down, and shoot out of there and super quick. You only need like, I think probably 11 inches of water, something like that, to run this prop in, and then shoot on out of there until you're in water that is deep enough to run the big engine. But that being said, I'm not opposed to a jack plate in the future. You do gain some things like performance. You increase the performance maybe a mile per hour or 2 or 3 with a jack plate. You can get it dialed in exactly how you want, and then of course you can run shallower. But for right now, I'm gonna get a feel for running no jack plate. And what the guys at East Cape told me is you don't need to run a jack plate with this boat. You'll be able to run plenty shallow, and the hull will do the work of essentially. You won't necessarily want one unless you really want to take it up a notch or get a little speed enhancement. Whew, I need some water. It is hot. I think I've said that a few times already. But all right, okay. One more time, one more shout out. Marquesa Marine, Unmatched Marine, Astro Lithium, Wet Sounds, Suzuki, V Marine, Power Pole. I hope I'm not forgetting anyone, but a good handful of companies came together to help me out with this boat, and I'm super grateful for that. I have some, you know, I wanted the best technology in this boat, and from going from a Ginu to like this, humbly saying, top of the line skiff, I mean, it is so incredibly nice to have, and so excited to really get to fishing and doing some cool stuff with this boat. If you guys saw, I've done some crazy things with the Ginu. I've ran 20 miles down the beach, and I can't wait for you guys to see the content with the Evo. It'll definitely be up a notch, and we'll be able to do some cool things, some really cool things. But East Cape, of course, the last person to thank there. And I think that is like it for like the third party accessories. Let's talk about some of the options I went with at East Cape. Some things they did for me, and I'll explain why. But let's start at the front. I'll walk you guys from the front to the back, and we'll go through everything. All right, we'll go ahead and open this front hatch here. I went with springs here versus gas struts. These are a little bit cheaper, and they are more durable. Obviously, I always like durability. This move right here, it is very much well known for durability. And I went with the springs just because they're simple, easy, cheap to fix if ever an issue. But this is the front hatch. It is a very large front hatch here. I'll pull some of the things out so you guys can get a feel for it. But, life jackets. What else we got here? Well, I guess this stuff can stay in there. Some of my safety equipment. But this is the big front hatch. You could probably get in there if you really wanted to. Honestly, but I think I'm going to keep all my safety equipment up here, maybe an anchor, small anchor, and the fuel tank is right here. 27-gallon fuel tank, which full tank we should have at least 200 miles of range, somewhere in there. Obviously depends on the engine and which, well, how you run it. But there's the fuel tank right there. Fill the fuel right here as well. That is a pretty neat little, it is very flush. You just twist it like this and it pulls out. That's where gas goes in the boat, and once again, 27-gallon fuel tank. But on the Evo, some things I really like are these super deep gutters. You guys can see this right here. I want to say this right here is probably 3 inches if I had to guess. I don't know exactly. But super deep gutters all around, that'll help with water if you take water over the bow, or you're spraying the boat down with the hose, or if you need to clean it by throwing a bucket of water across the deck because you got grass and stuff everywhere. These gutters will help prevent water from getting into the hatch. But of course, all the water, any water that if ever gets into the hatch, it'll just drain down into the hole, down to the bilge pump. But we have big holes here as well for sand or little rocks, anything, they will drain out of there, and hopefully we shouldn't have any problems with those. Those are very nice, and these gutters, they look super good. But as you guys can see here, once again, the carbon fiber lid right here. You guys might be able to see that a little bit better, just a pinch better. Carbon fiber lid, and then all the hatches in this boat, hard to do one hand, but they are all key locking, so we can lock this guy just like this. You guys can see we can lock this one as well as every other hatch in this boat. We also have a mount right here. If I wanted to move the casting platform back to right here, we can do that, no problem. Right now it's up all the way, but it would also fit just fine right here. We'll have to see how I like it. I might like it there, I might like it here, I don't know. I'll just have to test it out and see what I think. All right, moving back to the center console of this boat. This is with the jump seat. You don't have to get a jump seat. This is actually an additional option. You could have a cooler here. You could have absolutely nothing here and have a big, large area right here. But if you open this guy up, it is Right now, what I'll probably use it for is mainly cooler space. Fill this with ice, throw a mangrove snapper in there, maybe just keep the lunch boxes in there, whatever it may be, food, drinks. But we can put a plug right there, and we do have an aerator rigged up to this area right here. So I could plug it up, throw a couple gallons of water in there, and keep this just for shrimp. I had them do that. So that is a nice little option. I imagine maybe days like I come out and cast net like 100 mullet or something like that, and I have them mostly in the back live well, but I grab 6 or 7 right here and throw them in here and keep them in this aerated box. So when I'm up here fishing, I can very easily just, hey, step down, scoop a bait out of there, and go back to fishing, which will save me some time. And who knows, there may be, you know, a fish right here and I'm like, oh shoot, let me grab a mullet, and just have to turn around and grab one out of there, versus, you know, just going to the back. It's just a few seconds that may be the difference between you catching that snook that's right under that tree and it spooking or taking off, something like that. But this is the jump seat, and obviously someone can sit right here, and it's clean. Very, very, very clean. Looks great. Grab handle here all the way around the console. This is another additional option that I went with. Powder coated black. This is satin black. Same with all of the rest of the metal in the boat. But grab handle, that's nice to have. We have a cup holder right here. Let me move this out of the way. Another option, but we fit it there nicely with all the other things on the console here. Trim tabs, head unit for the sound system, ignition for the Suzuki, and then steering wheel right here. Woo! All right, while we're on the center console, I did do 2 rod holders right here on the side. This is really for, I feel like these are the like actively fishing rod holders, where I'm up front and I'm like, oh, let me grab this rod right here and go up front. Maybe keep one medium, one heavy right here. But 2 rod holders on the side there, of course, also satin black. And under the gunnels is my other main rod storage. We can keep 4 on this side. As you guys can see here, these are actually V Marine push-pull holders that we use for rod holders in the skiff. Looks really good. We can use 4 here, and then 4 on the other side here as well, and the reels will sit nicely up against the SeaDek. Another reason I went with SeaDek here, so the reels have something soft to sit up against. But we can carry a total of 4 here, 4 there, 10 rods, pretty much, 10 rods. But that's the center console. We got a glove box right here. Let me move this out of the way. Open this guy up. I'll show you guys what I got in here. We have my phone. We have, this is the cover for the wet sounds unit. But we have all my switches in here, if you guys can see this. All of them in the glove box off the console so they don't get wet or in any sort of weather damage. I think there's a total of 10 switches here. They're not labeled. I've got them all memorized at this point. But from the aerators, live well, there's 2 bilge pumps in this boat, 2 800-gallon-per-hour bilge pumps, nav lights, and then all the lighting I have in this boat. Main switch there, some USBs. This is a USB-A and USB-C here in the glove box, so we can charge our phones right up in here. And then this right here, if you guys can see that, that is an extender for the SD cards for things like Florida Marine tracks in the Simrad. So if I want to get a chip, I can plug it in right here, and that connects to the Simrad. For, I think I will do it, like the satellite imagery on the unit. That would be pretty cool. But that's that main glove box. I'm just using it for storage right now, my keys and this cover. But we'll go ahead and close it up. And then bottom hatch here is the 2 batteries, and then all the wiring. So that isn't super exciting besides the Astro Lithium in there, but these are also key lockable, so I can lock them, have every hatch in this boat locked if I want to. All right, please forgive me if I'm just yapping at this point. There's so much to cover in this boat compared to like my Ginu review videos where they take like 15 minutes. There's so much more to cover in this boat. It is so cool. It is so cool. But one of my favorite things about the Evo is this. There's a lot of really cool things. I think this boat was it was the perfect boat for me ultimately. Some of you guys may wonder, you know, what made you choose East Cape for your next boat? And ultimately, full transparency, I wanted to work with the next company, the next boat company, or a boat company, and East Cape, they totally understand social media and, you know, what I can do to you know, what I do and the amount of people I reach, and you guys, the followers, subscribers, and they were really awesome about it. They go on their YouTube channel. Kevin with Eastcape has been uploading YouTube videos for a very long time. He is the OG when it comes to like boats and fishing, like YouTube videos. He has hundreds and hundreds of walkthrough videos on their channel. I'll have it linked in the description. But ultimately, I talked to a few companies and it just felt like Eastcape was home. It felt like that's where I was meant to be. And the Evo, it felt like home as well. The layout, everything was just perfect for me. But I'll show you one of my favorite things that this skiff has, two of them that this skiff has that most don't, honestly, most don't. But like I said, the batteries are in the center console here. So that gives me this large hatch right here. You guys, it might be hard to see, but this whole seat here is a hatch. Backrest here had that added. That was a necessity for me. And Maggie as well. It is nice to be comfortable while riding. But you can go ahead and open this whole entire hatch here. For a skiff, this size hatch is like unheard of. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen anything like this. But this is, what it's gonna be for me is probably a fish box. So there is nothing in here. It has a plug right there that drains out of the boat, and we could fill this with ice, fill it with snapper, hopefully cobia, dolphin, maybe a snook here and there, kingfish. We may get crazy and maybe one day get a wahoo, but most skiffs do not have this area to put fish in, like a long area to put a good fish in. And some guys, you can do whatever you want with Eastcape. Some people put their electronics, their batteries in here, and then they have an open center console. But I wanted this totally, I wanted to make the most use of this as possible. Put the cast net in there. But ideally, I'm thinking this is going to be mainly used for keeping fish. And hopefully we get some good fish on this boat. We're going to do some wild things. But it folds down with the seat there, just like that. And then, as well, locks right there, just like that. But backrest, that was a necessity for me. And then here we go. This might be my favorite part of the boat. This live well on any boat is unheard of. I did go with a regular gas strut here for the live well, but this is, in my opinion, the highlight of this boat. A perfectly round live well that circulates water in a perfect circle. I'll go ahead and turn it on for you guys so you can see how it works. Let's see here. Let's see if I remember the switch. Let's see. I think it's this one. Nope. That's the aerator, and I have an aerator in this well as well. If I want to take bait off the water, I can keep them in here, keep them aerated. And then obviously the same up front, but that was the aerator where, okay, aerator. All right, live well. So if you guys can see this here, the water comes in right there and circulates in a perfect circle, kind of like a toilet bowl. And why this is so good for bait is because baits like pogies, baits like greenbacks, pilchers and thread fins, they like that current flow, that circular current flow. And to have this style of live well in a small skiff like this, I personally have never seen it. I could be wrong, but as you guys can see here, I don't have the plug in, but it's circulating perfect, like a perfect circle. Let me plug that in. I'll show you guys what it looks like filled up. All right, we're filling it up right now, but it's circulating in a perfect circle right here. I may get a shorter tube so I don't have to fill it up with so much water. I'll probably do that soon, but let me give it a minute to fill up and I'll show you guys what that looks like and then what it looks like with the aerator on as well. All right, live well is totally full now. Hopefully, unfortunately the water where I'm at isn't super clear, but you guys should be able to see it circulating in a circle. I'll even turn on the aerator so you guys can see that. There it goes. You guys can see these bubbles. Oh, there it goes. Bubbles starting to circulate in there. The aerator was mainly for if I pull off the water and want to keep my bait alive while I'm off the water, I can have the aerator on and running. But the perfect live well for honestly anyone. Obviously for me, but that is sick. That is sick. It's gonna keep baits super happy in there. But let's go ahead and turn it off. Turn it off since we're not gonna use it. Go ahead and close this hatch here. Oh, close that nice. That locks as well, so you can prevent people from stealing all your baits if you want. But moving to the back here, I think we're almost through everything. We have a step up right here. This is something I wanted as an easier way to get up on the polling platform. Obviously that's what it's meant for. I think it looks really good too. If you're polling, normally you would climb up this side here, but this can be a little sketchy for, I think, most people. I'm young and fairly fit, I would say, so it would be no problem for me, but I wanted to make sure that no matter who came with me, they'd have no problem getting up here and polling if they wanted. But if we're swimming, or maybe we're jumping off the polling platform swimming, it is super easy to climb up here. You guys can see I did that one-handed, no problem. And if you have the push pole in your hand, it's even easier to climb up here. That's another reason I wanted to step up, because most of the time you're climbing up here with the pole. That step up makes it a whole lot easier. But all right, I think we got these last two hatches to cover here. Sorry, it's a little bright, these last two hatches. Let me get down here. Yeah, super easy. Very, very functional addition to this boat. I really like. But I'll show you guys what I got going on back here. It's not super interesting. I wanted these set up for storage, but we'll go ahead and open them up here. In here, it is an unfinished hatch. It is the same thing back here. I might as well open them just like this. I hate to say it, but there ain't much to see back in here. It is mainly for storage. I have my big camera bag in here, and I'll pull it out here. But this is mainly for storage. It is unfinished. You can see, you know, the inner hull of the boat there, and that is to maximize the amount of space you have in the boat. You can also put, basically, you can do a finished hatch. You'll lose some storage space, and I'm happy with these gutters. I know water's not going to get in there super easily, if ever. So it is just a good storage option. I might throw my safety equipment back in here. I don't know yet, but for right now, you can see the power pole pump. I got my shoes in there. And then on this side, honestly, not missing much. That is the livewell pump. Got the fuses right here, right on the inside. Super easy to access. All labeled very nicely. The wiring I was really impressed with in this boat. Shout out to Dylan and Troy at Eastcape. But we're looking good. We're almost there. We are almost there. Okay, so I'm gonna climb back out here. The one other important thing you guys might want to know that I failed to mention is the color of this boat and the draft. So I know, unfortunately, it is gonna be a little hard to see here. It may look even a little tan in this lighting, but this is Baywater green. It might be easier to see it here. The console is Baywater green, and the hull is Baywater green as well. It is like a greenish gray color. I picked it from Home Depot, and Eastcape did it custom. They ordered it for me, and it came out great. The tan seats, brown SeaDek, the black, the green, it just goes so well together. And in my head, when I was, you know, kind of thinking of what I wanted to do with this boat and, you know, what my dream boat is, this is 100% it. Without a doubt. And now, unfortunately, the draft, I had a hard time testing it. I literally pushed the boat all the way up to the sand there, but it was floating up until it was hitting the sand. So I don't know if this is the right area to test the draft. Right here, I'm standing in about shin deep water, which is about 10 inches. And it is floating, and it looks like it could probably float in 5 inches. So I'm gonna have to do some real tests when I have, you know, myself as well as another person in the boat to test like real life scenario drafting. But right now, it is floating unreal shallow. Unreal shallow. I couldn't get it to hit the bottom, pushing it all the way up there towards the sand. Like it was not touching the bottom. So I'll have to do some tests in the future and let you guys know, but I think realistic, it'll be 6, 7, 8 inches in there, depending on, you know, do I got the live well filled, how many people are in the boat, what gear I got, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm trying to think, what am I missing here? What am I missing? Okay, the only thing I can think of that I did not mention, this is an Evo V, which means at the transom there, it's gonna be hard to see because the boat's underwater. It'd be easier to see when it's out of the water. The transom makes like a V shape essentially, compared to East Cape's Evo X, where the whole of the boat at the transom is nice and flat. This is more of a V shape. So what that means, the Evo V versus the Evo X, the Evo V will run a little bit better in rougher waters compared to the Evo X, but unfortunately it will not draft as shallow as the Evo X, and the Evo X will draft shallower than the Evo V, but will not run as well in choppier waters because of the shape of the hole at the transom. This is a 12 degree, and what that means is that V is 12 degrees off the horizontal, giving it that V shape. So it's essentially what a lot of people call it is a tarpon skiff. This would be a good skiff for Isla Morada, the Keys, stuff like that. It may not be the perfect skiff if you're, you know, fishing bonefish, but definitely tarpon. It is a big water skiff, but it can do it all. The way I have it laid out, it is super light. It ran well, and I think that's all we have left to do. Is we're gonna start up the engine and we're gonna run it a little bit, and I'll show you guys how it's running. It's not too windy today, unfortunately, so we can't truly put it to the test, but we can run it around. And unfortunately, the Suzuki's still not broken, so we gotta take it easy. But let's hop up in the boat. We'll pull up the power pole and ow! I just stepped on something super sharp. Let's get up out of here. Let's go for a ride. All right, we are gonna bring the power pole up, so we will hit the button. All right, we are up. We're gonna trim the Suzuki up a little bit because we are in super shallow water here. All right, Suzuki's up. Let's see if we could just trickle ourselves out of here. We're like in a foot, so let's see. I might need to go in reverse here. All right, we look good. I had to trim up the engine a little bit, but like I said, jack plate would do that job if I had one, but we look good. I mean, we just trickled out of about a foot of water there. Lower the engine back in the water just a little bit. We should be good. Look good. Made it out of there, no problem. And that was, you know, shin deep water. Just trickled out of there, pushed ourselves out, and lowered the engine as we got deeper. So we're good now. We're in about a foot and a half. Go ahead and drop the engine a little more. All right, now we should just be able to idle out to open water, out of a manatee zone here. And we're gonna get it up on plane, and we'll see what she's got. We have only an hour and a half on the engine right now, so I cannot exceed 3,000 RPMs for the first 4 hours. Can't exceed 3,000. So when I was testing earlier, I got up to 3,000 RPMs, and I was getting around 10 miles per gallon at 22 miles per hour. But like I said earlier, I think top speed will be somewhere around 45, somewhere between 45 and 50, depending on load and prop. So we'll see what we got, but we're looking good, looking real good. All right, so we trickled out to about 4 feet of water. We'll go ahead and minimum wake it out to the where we can run, but we're looking good. The engine, it is incredibly quiet. I'm mainly hearing right now the sound of the water moving past the boat. All right, we are good to go. Let's run it up. We're about 3,000 RPMs right there, so that's about as far as I can push the throttle down. I think that's a little over half throttle, a little over half. We're sitting 21 miles per hour, 9 miles per gallon right now. All right, we're sitting 22 miles per hour at 3,300 RPM, so I'll take it down a notch from there. 24 miles per hour. Once you get on plane, those RPMs do a lot more for you. But we turned pretty sharp. No cavitation on the sharp turns, which is good. All right, we're gonna come off plane here for a second, let it idle for a moment. I wanted to show you guys one thing I forgot to talk about during the review. One thing East Cape is known for is their spray rails. Let me see if I can give you guys a good angle of it here. Right here under the boat, let me move forward a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see this. Right here under the boat are these spray rails. They are a big, basically a gap between the hull and the outer deck of the boat. So when water and chop is hitting up here, it'll splash up into these spray rails, sending the water straight back down. So when you are, cutting through chop, you don't have the water spraying up in the air and then back in your face while you're driving. But these oversized spray rails are mighty nice. You can see my hand fits way up in there. They are huge. So a lot of area for water to go in, cup down, and shoot straight down. As well as the edge right here, it's nice and sharp. So if you are in chop and that boat is just bobbing up and down like that, maybe you're tarpon fishing, whatever it may be, the sound of the spray, you won't get sound from the spray rails because it's nice and sharp and it'll cut right into that water nicely. So it is a really nice feature on the East Cape boats. I believe just about every one of their skiffs has those oversized spray rails, but that's that. Let's take it up a notch and we'll get up and run again. All right, so not sure if you guys can see that, but those spray rails, they send that water straight down and back into the water versus spraying it up in the air and back on you as you move past it. But it's a little hard to give you guys a good example of it today because it's not super windy. Luckily, it's nice and calm, which is nice. I wish it was like this every day. But I tried to turn real sharp, head back into the chop created by the wake, but it's nice and calm today. So the boat looks really, really good. Running great. It feels good. Those turns super sharp, no cavitation in the turn. Not that you'll have to turn super sharp and crazy like that too often. But you never know, running through a cut or a creek like that, it would be, it's a nice thing to have. So it's feeling really good right now. And I'm trying to think of any last thing to share with you guys about the boat. If you guys have any questions of things you feel I missed or specific things about the boat or some of the accessories I got, feel free to go down in the comments and I'll follow back up with the answer on anything I may have missed today. But let's do one more little ride here. We're gonna pick up Maggie for dinner here in a little bit, but let's get back up and go. All right, one last thing to cap off this video of the boat. One last thing here. The power pole move. This thing, like I've said, is a beast, and I'm not joking. This thing does come with 2 remotes, and they wirelessly charge. There's the wireless charger mounted in my console where you just click it in and it charges it. No batteries involved, you just click and it's charging. But okay, let's talk about the performance of the move real quick because you guys are gonna wanna see this. Okay, when you deploy the move, you have this little screen right here that basically pops up when you drop it. You can't see it when it's in the stowed position. But let's turn it on here. So we're on 1, let's get the prop spinning and get it up to speed. Okay, it goes up to 20. So that is right there, top speed. Top speed right there. Make sure I get straight here. So check this out. Check out the wake this thing is throwing off back here. Let me lift up the engine. That's with the trolling motor alone. We are going almost 4 miles per hour with the trolling motor. Ripping. Now check this out. Go ahead and turn this, make it do circles. If you ever needed to do this, I'm just trying to display the power of it. But check this out. Dude. We're doing 360s. Doing literal 360s with the move. Make sure I don't throw myself out here. Not setting a great example, but literally just showing you guys the power of this trolling motor. We are spinning. I'm gonna get dizzy. That is unreal. Unreal. And then of course you have your anchor mode just like that. You just hit that and it'll hold you in one spot. And then this will maintain you on a heading. If you want to point it straight that direction, it'll take you straight that direction at the speed you want. But that was up to full 20 speed there. It's kind of, it is a beast. I'll say this again. I don't recommend doing that at home. That was spinning me in like a 360 every like less than 10 seconds, the full boat in a full 360. That is a lot of fun. But all right, guys, I think I've just yapped my butt off for the past hour, and I hope that you guys followed along. I answered all your questions, and I'm super excited once again. I think that's it for today. Big shout out to Maggie, my wife. Without her, I couldn't have made this happen. And East Cape, all the partners that came together on this. The boat came out beautiful, and I can't wait to catch some fish on it, because that is what it is all about. All to catch some fish. And I want to be very clear. None of this is what you need to catch fish. It is mighty nice, but I fished a long time on the Ginu and caught more fish than I could ever imagine. So I just want to let you guys know that all you need is your 2 feet and a fishing rod to catch some fish. But this is pretty cool. So thank you guys so much for watching today. Big shout out to East Cape for making this happen. And I cannot wait to catch some fish in this thing. I definitely have some trip ideas planned, and I think they're gonna be pretty dang cool. Well, that's that. Thank you guys for watching. The next video, we will be fishing. I gotta get some water. See you guys in that next video.